this on camera real quick. I'm going to show you all, in my mind, the Texans' path to victory. Now, Chase, over there real quick. You said you were watching the tape yesterday. What do the Texans need to do in the event the Texans want to win the game defensively?
There's two things. One, you got to pressure and contain Mahomes' running ability. When he runs, he's dangerous.
Okay.
The most important thing, they have to play man-to-man, and they have to get man pressure on Patrick Mahomes.
You got to play man-to-man. Here's the thing. If you're going to play man-to-man, then you have to defeat the pick routes. The Chiefs completed 260 passing yards versus the Texans, but 112 of them, or roughly 43%, were off pick concepts. The Chiefs run pick routes nonstop. Texans, lock, levels, communicate.
Let me say something on that real quick, because you said a really good point. When they're in bunch formations and you are in man-to-man, you have to press the point.
Yeah.
And receivers, tight ends know that that's one of the biggest problems, because you have people going certain ways. So if you press the point, it messes up the timing. So a lot of times when we get up there and we're in bunch formation and we see man-to-man and we see press on the point, the guy that's on the point will look back and say, hey, slow down, give me a little time to work. I got to work my release so you guys can get into your routes. If they can do that and they can redirect the point, you'll mess up the timing, and that'll help the pass rush get there.
And look, you know, I played for the Chiefs, same with Shady. There's only so many pick routes out of the backfield they have. Now, the trips bunches and the stacks and 2x2s, that's different. When you get backs out of the backfield going across the formation, they built a 4x1 in that second one you showed, or third one you showed. Yeah. And in the first one you showed, everyone's like, oh, why is Travis Kelce blocking the guy? Well, there's no reason a linebacker, we call him a flat linebacker, when he gets up on the line. There's no reason he should be there, because Travis Kelce can literally block him. They have the yard between the line of scrimmage and the next yard, so you can actually block him. So that's why it was wide open. So if you take away those easy completions to the backs, out of the backfield some way, somehow, and you pressure Mahomes. You saw a bunch of five-man pressure. He has to get rid of the ball quickly. The lanes are stuffed. He can't get the ball out.
Shady, I read this book called The Art of War, and The Art of War talks about if you are going to defeat your opponent, you need to know your opponent better than you know yourself. You know the Chiefs better than anybody. You know inside, you know outside, you won a Super Bowl with the Chiefs. Because you know just how good the Chiefs are and you know their strengths, you too know their weaknesses. What would the Texans' route to victory be?
You know, it's funny. As you asked this question, I was thinking about, man, the last time that we had a really good playoff game against the Texans was 2019, right? Deshaun Watson. This one, Deshaun Watson was Deshaun Watson. And Hopkins was over there. And they were up 24-0 on us, right? And the way they did that was, some what Chase said, contain Patrick Mahomes, don't let him get out the pocket, right? And then at this time, Kelce was still a beast. And what they did well was they ran the ball well, and on third and fourth down, they went for it, and they got it. Yeah, if we ain't on third down, we going for a fourth down. And then when they started converting, you know what they did? They took out the crowd.
Okay.
See, people forget that playing the Arrowhead matters. It's loud as hell.
Yeah, it is.
And when you take the fans out the game, you take the momentum. You take the energy out the building, out the players. And that's what they did. And so until we start getting rolling again, then they start messing up. You know, going for it, or not going for it, throwing interceptions, throwing picks, fumbles, and then we start rolling again. So one thing they did, they kept the offense on the sideline. It's another thing they was doing good. When you keep converting, you have the ball and time of possession on your side. They kept doing that. Now you have to see Patrick Mahomes every possession because he's on the sideline, waiting and getting cold, because it's going to be cold out there. So those are just kind of the ways to kind of beat the Chiefs. Now,
Of course, it's going to be hard to do.
They did lose.
It's going to be.
They did lose by a lot.
24-0.
24-0.
No,
They
they
lost
50 or something?
We lost by we beat them by 17 or something like that. So.
Now, really quick, I got a question for you, though, because they talking man-to-man. As a running back, is that something that you want? Do you want man-to-man, or would you want zone? Like, does that change the way you view the game, too? If, they playing a bunch of man-to-man, you if it handed, does that change the way you play?
As far as run plays or pass plays?
Run plays.
Yeah, it matters a little bit, right? Because now, the guys on defense have to be disciplined, right? Sometimes a run could look the same as a pass, right? And now you might think it's a pass, damn, it's a run, I'm out the gate. Or vice versa, you think it's a run, you play action on it, damn, I got this running back, I got this guy, and man, I'm sucked up in there in the hole, and then somebody's over top me with a pass. So for running backs, it matters a lot. You know, but I think they will run the ball a little bit because they got to keep them pass rushers honest.
Yep.
But one thing about Andy Reid that we're not talking about, he's so good, he's going to find ways to beat these guys. First of all, on offense, you're not giving me nothing. The Texans, you don't have much on offense, so you got to have that clock management. And on defense, you got some pass rushers, cool. You play you got some cornerbacks, but Andy Reid does this.
Correct. That's what's fascinating. Now, Chase, to Shady's point,
Screens, all types of stuff.
When the Texans had them down 24-0, they went for it a lot on 3rd and 4th down. You dropped a note, I think, before the show. The Chiefs' 3rd down defense is that vulnerable.
Yeah, I mean, Chiefs are 24th or 27th in 3rd down defense. And I think for me, Texans offensively, you got to have a perfect game from C.J. Stroud. You can't turn the football over. A massive turnover last week in the Chargers game, and 2 in that previous Chiefs week, right? And I think the biggest thing for him is you have to be able to find a way to stay on the field. You have to take these long drives. Really, the Chiefs are the long drive team now. They've sort of switched how they want to go. Patrick Mahomes is averaging his least amount of air yards in his career, including even last year. So this is this dink and doink type offense, and let these guys run after the catch. But you have to stay on track in 3rd down. You have to stay on track in the red zone. And the biggest thing for the Texans defense, just going back there, because I think that's the biggest key. Like, the Chiefs are going to score points, right? But it's just, how do you score? You have to be really good in the red zone. And when you're playing man, they obviously switched up. They didn't play man the whole time last game the Chiefs and Texans played. They played zone. And for me, you can't allow these underneath completions to, Hollywood Brown or to Xavier Worthy or to Travis Kelce, because that's where the Chiefs have sort of lived this year. You actually have to make, this sounds crazy, but you have to make Mahomes throw the football down the field. You can't give him these, like 112 on man, these simple throws have to come off like the run after the catch. You know, the Xavier Worthy throw that you just showed up there. The completion percentage on that is really low. Mahomes put it in the right spot, but you can't give him the easy way out. I mean, people forget this was a 5-point game with 9 minutes left to go in the game, and that 3rd and 4 you show was sort of the dagger of it, so you can't make any stupid mistakes. The last thing I'm going to say, I got to get this in.
Go ahead.
You have to force at least 1 turnover. The Chiefs have 0 giveaways. 0 giveaways in their last 7 games. They have not turned the football over in 7 straight games. It's the longest streak without a giveaway in Mahomes' era, and it's the longest 6-game streak in the NFL since 2017.
Yeah, you're not going to do that.
Like, you can't give it away.
It's crazy because in the production, me and Shady was like, man, just watching the Texans, it's like, I'm putting my money on the Chiefs because it's hard for me to think that the Texans is going to go in here and win the way the Texans has looked all year. And I've been telling you, offensively, I don't know how they, score consistently on the Kansas City Chiefs. And Andy brought me this stat. Since Week 7, the Texans have played 12 games, and they have scored 2 or less touchdowns in 11 of them.
Woo! You ain't winning like that.
And you're without Tank Dell, and you're without Diggs. I don't know where points come from because you ain't been putting up points on nobody. So
I guess it's going to have to be similar to, again, how they did against the Chargers. The difference is the Chargers are not the Chiefs, obviously, but the conversation is how can they pull off the upset. Chargers, I think they got a pick 6, if I'm not mistaken. And then outside of the pick 6, you forced 3 other interceptions, so four interceptions total. When I think about it and rewatching the tape, none of the Chiefs receivers beat the Texans DBs at all. They can't win. It's the craziest thing, James. They cannot win. DeAndre Hopkins was not beating Kamari Lassiter. His one back shoulder catch, it was on Jeff Okudah. Nobody's beating Stingley on the other side. Travis Kelce's one of the greatest tight ends, if not the greatest ever. Number 23, Murray, had him locked up and he wouldn't let him out. Travis Kelce got his 5 catches in that game in zone, just sitting down in the open zone windows. DeAndre Hopkins did the most of his work sitting down in zone windows. The Chiefs receivers are not better than the Texans defensive backs. But Andy Reid, schematically, is brilliant. DeMeco Ryans is going to have to try to find a way. And remember, DeMeco Ryans was the defensive coordinator for the Niners in the Super Bowl. They lost to the Kansas City Chiefs, not the most recent one, the one back in 2019. Correct me if I'm wrong on the date. It may have been 2020. DeMeco Ryans has played against Andy Reid several times. He's going to have to win that schematic battle.
I don't think this is on the defense for the Texans. They are only going to stop Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid so many times. If Patrick Mahomes was on the Chargers last week, the Chargers win that game. The defense was locked in C.J. Stroud and them down the whole first half. And then you give up a 40-yard run and give them some momentum going in, but they were locking them. That was 6-0 forever. If that's a Patrick Mahomes team, the game is over. If that's a Kansas City Chiefs defense, the game is over in Kansas City. I don't know where the points come from. They have not been a consistent offense all year long.
But if you're going into that meeting, Shady and James, you know, Chase, like, if you're DeMeco Ryans, who's a defensive-minded coach, And a lot of the money on that team is in the defense. Daniil Hunter, you acquired him this year. Will Anderson, a first-round pick, I think defensive rookie of the year last year. Derek Stingley was a first-round pick 3 years ago. Kamari Lassiter was a second-round pick this most previous season. You put your money into the defense. Yeah. Azeez Al-Shaair, you went and got him in the offseason. Your money is on the defense, and your health is on the defense. Because Tank Dell, like James said, he's hurt. Stephon Diggs, he's hurt. Your health is on the defense. Your money is on the defense. Your pride as your coach is on the defense. You have to try to win the game 20-17, 17-16, 24-17. Like, if you get into a shootout,
no shot.
You will not
Acho,
win.
did you hear what I said?
Where the points coming from?
12 games. 11 of them have scored 2 or less touchdowns. Where's the 21, sir?
Yeah, it's got to be.
You feel what I'm saying? So I'm not saying they can't go out there and have a day. C.J. Stroud is a really good football player. I'm not saying they can't go out there and ball out. We've seen it done. But they have not been a consistent offense all year long, and we're asking them on the road in the divisional round against a really good Kansas City Chiefs team in the cold in Kansas City to go out here and put up more than 3 touchdowns.
They put up a lot of yards last time, but C.J. Stroud had 2 interceptions, no bigger. The game was 14-10, if you guys remember, at the end of the first half. And C.J. Stroud throws an absolutely horrible interception in field goal range. It could have been 14-13 going in half. Instead, that first play that you showed, that was the very next play on the pick play, and the Chiefs went to go. That's a 6-point swing. They only lost by 8. I'm saying if they can keep it close like that and not turn the football over, they got a shot.
You got to have a shot. You got to have a shot, but Andy Reid is, obviously. He's Andy Reid. What up, YouTube family? Welcome to the facility. Thanks for watching, and you better be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more highlights from the show and all of our exclusive content.